On June 10, 1944, American P-38 fighters flew from Italy 600 miles to attack the Ploesti oil refineries in Romania. This is the second of two videos. Please view it second so you have the background for this air battle. The story is told by Lieutenant Herb Hatch, who is flying number 3 in the 71st Squadron, call sign Cragmore. When he sees the IAR-80s attacking, he believes they're German Focke-Wulf 190s. This is what he says. At this point, we were only 250 to 300 feet off the ground. As we pulled up slightly to turn back north again, somebody hollered, "Cragmore, break left for Christ's sake!" I looked to my left, and there was a whole flock of Focke-Wulf 190s heading toward us from 10 o'clock high. Our entire squadron broke to the left. As I continued around in my sharp turn, a lone 190 came out of nowhere and pulled right across in front of me. He was so close, 50 to 75 yards away, that all I could see in my ring sight was the belly of his fuselage and the wing roots. I opened fire with all 4 50 caliber machine guns and the 20mm cannon, and I just damn near blew him in half. That saved my neck, because when I rolled out to shoot at that 190, I looked to my right, and here comes another bunch of 190s from my 2 o'clock. I turned sharply to my right, pulled up, and opened fire again. The leader was 150 to 250 yards away, nearly head-on and slightly to my left. I set the lead 190 on fire with a burst that went through the engine, the left side of the cockpit, and the wing root. The 190 rolled to its right and passed me on my left. I didn't see him crash, but my gun camera film showed the fire, and my wingman confirmed that he crashed. Unfortunately, the other 3 190s went right over my head and down on the tails of Green Leader and his wingman. Both were shot down. As I continued to turn around to my right, my wingman stayed with me, and I saw another 190 behind one of my tent mates, Joe Jackson, flying as Cragmore White 4. I closed in on that one from about his 5 o'clock and tried to shoot his canopy off from about 100 yards, but I was too late to save Joe. By then, the 190 had set Jackson's plane on fire. Joe's plane rolled over and went in, and he was killed. I finally did get my burst into the cockpit area, and the 190 followed Joe right into the ground. I was still turning to the right, going quite slowly by then, because I had my combat flaps down. I turned maybe another 90 degrees to my right and saw one of our P-38s coming head-on with a 190 on his tail. The P-38 passed over me about 50 feet to 75 feet. I pulled my nose up and opened fire on the trailing 190 from a distance of about 150 to 200 yards. He kept coming head-on, and I shot off the bottom half of his engine. He nosed down, still shooting at me, and I had to dump the yoke to miss him. He was burning when he went over me by not more than about 3 feet, and part of his right wing knocked about 3 inches off the top of my left rudder. As this 190 went over my head, I saw 3 more making a pass at me from my left. I turned so fast I lost Joe Morrison. I missed my shot that time, but when these 3 had gone over me, they went after Morrison, I saw 3 190s diving at another P-38. I snapshot at the leader from about a 90-degree deflection. I hit his left wing and shredded the aileron. He fell off in his left wing and went in. He was so low that there was no chance for him to recover. I kept on going around to my left and shot at the second one, which was going away from me on my left. I hit him, but I'm not sure if he went in. I know I knocked a bunch of pieces off his cowling and fuselage, but didn't have time to see what happened to him. I looked up at 2 o'clock, and here comes another 190 right at me. It was too late for me to turn. I just shut my eyes and hunched down in the cockpit. I thought I'd bought the farm right there, but he missed me. He never even hit my ship. I think he missed me because I was going so slow. He overestimated my speed and was overleading me. I started to turn his way, and then he went right behind me. I continued on around. There was another one out there, so I closed in on him. I took aim, fired, but my guns only fired about 10 rounds and quit. I was out of ammo. I damaged him a bit, but he flew away. When I woke up to the fact that I was out of ammunition, 600 miles into enemy territory, and all alone, I broke out of the area and went looking for some company. In only a few minutes, I found one of the other planes in my squadron headed in my general direction. I called the pilot, Carl Honschel, on the radio, and we joined up. About that time, I heard my wingman, Joe Morrison, hollering for some help. He was on single engine, pretty badly shot up, and would somebody please come and help him? So Honschel and I turned back to look for Joe. We finally found him down around 200 feet. After we got him headed in our direction, we started to climb out of there to the west. Joe's airplane looked like a lace doily. The two 190s I had not had time to turn into had gone over the top of me and down onto Joe's tail because he had broken right when I had broken to the left. Joe's ship was flying, but just barely. Honschel and I were both out of ammunition. The three of us tried to make ourselves look as small as possible and headed west. 4 or 5 minutes later, another P-38 joined us. This was Lieutenant John Allen, a 94th pilot. We hoped he had some ammunition. When we called him to ask, we found that his radio was out and we couldn't talk to him. Herb Hatch got back to the field okay. Joe Morrison had to crash land his plane in a field in Italy and got back to the base by truck. This battle shows how the greater firepower of the P-38 with 4 heavy machine guns and 1 20mm cannon clustered in the nose was far more effective than the 4 light machine guns in the wings of the IAR-80. The fighter pilots, both American and Romanian, were aggressive and had the spirit of attack. More detail on this and other battles is available in my book, The Spirit of Attack: Fighter Pilot Stories by Bruce Gordon.